Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Gyle here, and welcome back to the Forged Alliance Forever promotional series. Unqualified and unquantifiable apologies, guys, for no upload yesterday. I do have a decent excuse. I was basically out of commission. For those of you that don't know, I had a colossal IT failure. And I did think I was going to have to get a new machine at one point, but I just took everything out, dismantled the whole thing, cleaned it up, put it back in, and somehow that means you get a working computer back. I'm not really sure how, but it doesn't matter. I'm online, and that's the most important bit. Now, here comes my little piece of public service announcement. I haven't done it in a while, and I should do it more often. For those of you that don't know, the game is Supreme Commander Forged Alliance. If you like what you see, but you're not quite sure what you're looking at, the game is available on Steam for £10 or $15 or whatever the equivalent is in your local currency, and all you need to do once you have that installed, it doesn't matter whether you've got the digital download edition from Steam or whether you have a physical tangible disc retail version, all you need to do once that game is installed is download the Forged Alliance Forever multiplayer client, and you can find that below in the description to this video. And that will allow you to play all the mods, hang out with us, do all of the cool stuff that you see in these vids. Anyway, that's job done. I've got an Average Joe's 1v1v1 for you guys today, and it's on Sludge. Wah, 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 I hear everybody say. I know, but hey, you know, it's a map. It's not played very often. It's kind of comical from time to time. And maybe this will provoke a little bit more interest in it. I've always found it was quite an interesting, fun little map, and it deserves to get some recognition. So let's head on over to the game zone and see how these guys are going to get on. So up here at the top corner in electric blue, going UEF, we have Treskalle. He's opening first land, a bunch of P-Gens. Over here on the right in baby blue is HolyMoly. He's going Fim, opening first land, bunch of P-Gens, all very similar. And then down here in the turgid brown, we have Battlefield. He's going Cybran, opening first land, all very similar. You can see it is an Average Joe's. Treskalle's actually above the qualification for an Average Joe's, sitting at 1648. So 1500, for those of you who don't know, is my usual cutoff point. But for these kind of situations, I take an average, and you can see these two guys are a little bit further below than he is above. So overall, that knocks the average game level down below 1500. So I'm calling it a Joe's. Deal with it. Sludge, very strange map. It's a tiny little thing. And it's sometimes artillery and tac missiles can be crucial, because for those you can't really see, this is a 5x5, meaning that this island here, if you're sitting here in Battlefield's position, you can reach both these islands with T2 artillery, and you can basically reach most of the map, if not all of it, with tac missiles. So very useful long-range stuff as it is. And up here as well, of course, you can see this is the first cast I'm doing with the new update. Post 3622 and now on 3623 or 4, something like that. I don't know, all these little hot fixes going on. And we got this live update on mass and energy, which is very exciting. I love it. Thank you, Zep, for that. You can already see that Treskalle is in the lead. Well, he's just been equalized now, but that's going to go up and down, drop down, because he's having power issues. But very, very helpful indeed. I love it, and that's going to be really easy to look at on this map, because you're not going to get any kind of confusion with people reclaiming, because it's Sludge and there isn't any reclaim. That is all you've got in terms of building space. There's literally nothing, and you can actually see your opponent's base through the mist. So you are incredibly close. You've got virtually no land to deal with, so all space is crucial. Anyway, taking a look at what these guys have done. Treskalle has gone second air and third navy. He's already got a few scout planes in the skies, busy trying to upgrade his eco at the same time. Over here, HolyMoly has gone second land as well, so his first and second land, and then third navy, already getting a frigate in the water. And then down here, second navy for Battlefield, not working on any second land or second air or anything like that. And now we've got a little bit of an assault coming in from HolyMoly. He has a frigate in the water, and he's backing it up with a couple of Zuis. Has taken out 2 Mexes and a radar, and is eventually going to get shooed away by Battlefield's ACU. And now HolyMoly has taken his frigate up to Treskalle's island. Needs to be a little bit careful. He's getting a lot of fire from the ACU. Treskalle probably can't overcharge yet. No, he's got maximum 4,000 power, meaning he hasn't built energy storage yet. Not able to use that overcharge. But be so careful, especially in these early stages. You can get crippled for the rest of the game. These T1 power gens utterly vital to your survival. You need to keep them in place, and you can't space them out either because you just haven't got the room. So very dangerous indeed. But we finally got some thunderheads in play from Treskalle, meaning it's going to be very difficult now for HolyMoly to score any real critical damage. Looks like he's going to lose this reinforcing frigate. There it goes. And for the moment, Treskalle is doing okay, and he's doing better than okay. He's actually up to 37 mass, so pulling away from these other two guys. You can see stuff changing around, chopping and changing as they chop and change on scores, and obviously he's bottlenecking on power now. You can see that drop down to 16 mass, then 17 from 37. Very painful indeed. Getting a little bit of reclaim on there, trying to top up. You can see he's floating a huge quantity of mass. This is the backwards kind of style you see on Sludge. Getting power together is painful because you've got all of this access to mass. It's all you're going to get for the game, these 12 mass points. But, well, short of shooing someone off their island, that is. What have we got going on down here? Producing yet more frigates. No tech on his main island yet from the other two land factories. Just producing a few torpedo launchers, looking to secure his naval yard around that side of the map. And Battlefield has moved his ACU forward. Look augmented there. So actually have a look. He is augmented. I was just going to check. Commander looks slightly different. He's gone the torpedo launcher route. It's actually going to make his commander a nasty piece of work on this map. It's a pretty significant range on that puppy. That is going to make him very evil indeed. Of course, there's no use in getting any of the gun upgrades on a commander on this map. I suppose you could strut across the water and start crippling your opponent's base with your ACU, but certainly very dangerous play indeed. Battlefield also setting up kind of semi-proxy naval factories over here on the left, a little bit away from his main base. I suppose not really proxy because they are right by at the same time. It's just you can't really put them up here and here. There is no room on this map. It's just the way it is. We're actually getting some T2 Navy from HolyMoly. He's up to 85% on that upgrade already, so we're already seeing some tech. Neither of these or none of these guys wanting to engage unnecessarily. We've also got a T2 land factory in play for Treskalle. He's rolling off some T2 engineers, and now he's working on Riptides. Riptide's going to be very nasty on this map indeed. And now some T2 power down here for Battlefield. He's also got a T2 Navy. He's starting to work on a Salem, and it's the one advantage. He wants to probably make use of the Cybran Navy nice and early on this. Of course, Cybran Navy early to mid-game, very strong indeed, and then later on not so much, and especially since he's facing off against these two guys, Seraphim and UEF, who have pretty much undisputably the strongest late-game navies. So he wants to do what damage he can in the sea early on. That would be my advice. He's certainly going the right way about it by building a Salem. So none of these guys, still none of these guys wanting to make the first moves. One of the critical issues, of course, going free-for-all. If you expend too much energy fighting one opponent, you're literally just going to hand the victory to the other opponent who goes unmolested. We've now got a T2 naval factory over here for Treskalle as well. So all of these guys sitting pretty on T2 Navy, starting to produce some destroyers from them. But the real threat is going to come from the Governors and the Seraphim cruisers. I can never remember what they are. They're such hideous names. But you can literally sit in your base with either of those two cruisers and hit both your opponents with those missiles. Very dangerous indeed. Treskalle already getting a second T2 power in place. A single T2 power here for HolyMoly. How is he looking on power? He's bottlenecking badly, and that's not going to be helping his mass situation. Needs to sort that out ASAP. Treskalle looks like he could be having problems. Well, he's not actually. He's not having problems at all. And finally, we get an air factory in place for Battlefield. He's working on some zap as well. We're also seeing some artillery going down. We're going to get to a critical point soon where it's all going to kick off. Battlefield's been doing another upgrade on his ACU, but he's paused it for now. Trying to get other stuff finished first. Still, these guys just kind of feeding each other out, and I think these Riptides could be pretty crucial in this game. Scout planes and interceptors going out, just kind of putting the feelers out about what's out here in terms of his opponents. And a third Salem in production and being built very quickly indeed for Battlefield, as opposed to just the one destroyer up here for HolyMoly. Might have a few Zuis in play, but it's not going to help him very much. Not in the grand scheme of things. See, only 340 power being produced for HolyMoly, and he hasn't got room for that power gen, so he had to dismantle that T1 LAN factory. He didn't need it, wasn't going to, had to go, and that is how much of a premium on space we are talking here. He's going to start to work on that P-gen and hopefully sort his eco problems out. Certainly hurting him at the moment, minus 840 net or so for a moment there. A lot of interceptors in play as well for Treskalle. Nice to have, always important. You would expect that you're going to need them in every game. But since none of his opponents have invested in any kind of air at all, we've got an air factory down here for Battlefield. He hasn't built anything from it yet. And no air factory at all for HolyMoly, so those interceptors are a little bit redundant at the moment. Could have afforded not to build them. Valiant on the field for Treskalle as well, as we hit 15 minutes and really not much has happened in the last 10 or so. But finally, we've got Salem's coming into play over on the right hand side for Battlefield, using their ranged advantage, picking off these frigates first. And even a submarine comes in to assist the HolyMoly forces, but it doesn't last too long. And now these Zuis are going to just get zapped by this combination of the Salems and this Cerberus turret that's placed ideally to take them out as they come forward. Suddenly all that's really left, we've got one frigate and one destroyer for HolyMoly. And this is a little bit dangerous since Treskalle is basically in the best position and he's getting focused the least, or he's not getting focused at all right now. Probably not ideal for these two guys. You would expect you'd be wanting to go after the guy with the highest rating anyway in a free-for-all, trying to take him down a notch. He's basically going to be your biggest threat. This T2 naval factory not looking too healthy at all now for HolyMoly. You've got build capacity going pop on the side of it. Only one of them left. And the T1 torpedo launchers we saw going down to protect it earlier, just been zapped. No use there whatsoever because of the outranging of even the commander's torpedoes. Outranged it considerably. You can see he's just sitting pretty faring away with his commander. And boom, there it goes. Could be major issues, but now Treskalle feels like he can move. He's got a bulwark cruiser, boat, sorry, in there, the shield boat. Just going to afford him some very nice coverage indeed. Battlefield is going to move those tridents around the front, try and soak up some of the damage. Needs to be really careful about these riptides coming in around the side of his island. Could be a real problem for him. He's got his Salems involved, which is good. He's brought them around the back, but now they're getting zapped by these riptides. He's just not taking them down very quickly at all. He's got a couple of Cerberus turrets, or a Cerberus turret on that side of the island. But really needs to just be moving these Salems well away and trying to use their range advantage. He's got himself a little bit cornered now at the edge of the map. More units coming in. We've got another bulwark. We've got a Cooper, the torpedo boat, and one factory goes down for battlefield. This is all about these two facing off against each other. And we've actually got 3 Gunthers, 3 Cybran artillery pieces online and going after Treskalle. And this is a mistake. HolyMoly, obviously aggrieved by the action against him not 2 or 3 minutes ago, is sending a bunch of Zuis over to try and hit battlefield while he's engaged. But he's also been taking some artillery fire. We've got some artillery pieces up here from HolyMoly, and they are trained on battlefield. I think that's a mistake. The biggest threat is definitely Treskalle up here at the top. But, these two are probably going to end up taking each other out, handing the victory to Treskalle. Need to be very careful indeed. But a T2 torpedo launcher being thrown down by battlefield. Nanite torpedo array. Interesting. Knew the name of that one. That'll afford him some coverage over here on the left-hand side. Won't protect him against riptides, of course, so would be valuable use for Treskalle to keep producing those. But a couple of artillery shells making it through, taking down a T2 shield gen. He also had a land-based shield gen on there as well that went pop. Bulwark cruiser blinking on intermittently since he's lost that T2 power gen. It's costing him slightly some of that cover. That T2 torpedo launcher also helping battlefield out quite a lot now as more riptides come in though at the front of the island. Working on the zappers first, then switching to the shield gen, then back to the zappers, working out they're not going to get through it, but he does get through it. Excuse me. Shell comes through from that destroyer over the top to assist, and that puts battlefield in a very tricky position, down to 60 power. Ouch, a Rooney. Literally no power left whatsoever. He needs to get back here to rebuild that ASAP. And this is what I was talking about earlier. We've got a governor in play right by the naval factory of Treskalle, well in safe territory. He's just flying over here, harassing battlefield's island. Luckily for him, he's got a couple of zappers in place. It's going to give him some breathing space. But at the moment, battlefield's base looking about as healthy as the Cypresian banking sector right now. Not going well at all. Everything's just in flames, smouldering wrecks. Rather you than me, buddy. Not only that, HolyMoly is still training his artillery pieces on battlefield. I don't know whether that's out of fear or he's still peeved about what happened earlier. I think he could probably get in there and take out that Cooper, but he doesn't want to get too close. There's a Ravager or two on the island for Treskalle, and of course he's just not firing these artillery pieces now, which is such a shame because he's got no power. He's trying to get one finished. There's the constant threat that it's going to get taken out by one of these T2 artillery pieces from HolyMoly. So nearly done. Oh, I fear for you. I fear for your life. You can hear it going off, and they're sailing through any time. My goodness me, that's come from over here. So we've got a clink hammer on Treskalle's island, and that looks like it's trained in the perfect place, and it even got finished and then promptly gets taken out by HolyMoly's artillery. Oh, dude. And there is very little way back into this for him, I think. Very little indeed. And the general complaint that you'll get at least once in any free-for-all when a player is getting double-teamed, which Battlefield certainly is right now, like a cheap porn star. Oh, dude, I think you're done. I think you're done. Gonna put that out there in the ether, and the shield gen that he wasn't even able to power, he's just finished, goes down once again. He's still got these 3 Salems over here on the right. He's not got anything left on his base island at all. But he could cause some problems. He's got one that's very low on health. The D down to around 400 hit points. He's got a couple of subs chasing him. One goes down. He's still got two others looking reasonably healthy. Finish off this little group of units, no problem, as long as he keeps microing them around, avoiding the Zooey fire and the artillery fire. Might actually be able to throw some damage back onto HolyMoly, but again, it's all just revenge damage. It's not actually sensible damage. This guy up here is just going to walk away with it, completely unmolested as he's been. They're going to find life very difficult before too long. Governor still sitting pretty over there on the left-hand side, just firing missiles away at Battlefield Island. Of course, he's got nothing left in terms of zappers, so every one of those missiles is going to get through. Salem's just skirting around, though. Meanwhile, on the right-hand side, now it's HolyMoly's turn to take some fire on his main base island as they play Ring-a-Ring-a Rosies, fire yellow crap at the baddies. It's a very special game that they're taught when they're kids, these robots. Down go those two groups of mass points on the right hand side, leaving HolyMoly with just 4 T2s up the top left hand side of this island, still covered by shields. And some more T1 frigs come off the conveyor belts and come in to try and do something about these Salems. It's not an easy task, but there is now a destroyer out for HolyMoly. Just Battlefield needs to take that out if he wants to stay in this or continue to harass. He's got a couple of hover tanks after him as well. I don't really like this idea at all. He's moving over here to the left and into Ravager range from Treskalle. One of them goes down. The other is only on 300, 130 hit points. One or two more torpedoes or even some T1 PD fire. Be ashamed. We'll take him out. And finally, HolyMoly is seeing sense and training his artillery pieces on Treskalle's base. He's actually having some pretty colossal power problems. He's trying to get an upgrade on his commander. Unable to get that done and keep all his shields operational in the meantime. HolyMoly could do with taking out the clink hammers, that's for certain. Get him some breathing room and be the only person left with artillery pieces. But just unable to get back in this game. Battlefield, I do feel for you, pal. Trying to get that T2 back in play. He's got one mass. All that he's getting is the mass produced by the ACU, and now he's got even more problems coming in. HolyMoly is engaging with the frigs and the one destroyer that he produced earlier, and the bunch of hover tanks. That base that he's been trying to get up for the last 5-10 minutes or so, soon to be once again smouldering ruin. Not a single structure left. But he sits there and patiently reclaims the destroyer as best he can. Of course, he's still got those torpedoes on his commander. Just putting out a nice amount of damage. Another destroyer, though, on the field for HolyMoly. Got a few hover tanks that they're moving back up to the right-hand side. And actually, Battlefield's not giving up yet. He's salvaged 3 units of build capacity, 3 engineers. He's moving over to the bottom right, and he's determined to stay in this. I don't know how he's going to manage it if you can't build any power anywhere or any mass. But good for him. He's not giving up. Could potentially take out this destroyer, though, with his commander, and he does manage it. 1 destroyer, no, 2 destroyers left, sorry. Has to be a little bit careful. So 19 kills, though. Is he actually on? So he's already got the first initial star of veterancy. But still, we've got artillery fire coming in from HolyMoly onto this island. There's nothing here. Needs to be firing at Treskalle ASAP, who's actually... where is he getting his power from? And he's producing... unreal. He's producing... is that a battle cruiser or a battleship? I think that's a battle cruiser. Got that up to T3. Oh, he must have... that's what he was doing earlier with his comm. Nice idea. He's got the... must have the resource upgrade Resource generation upgrade on his commander. There we go, resource allocation system on his commander. I was wondering, so he's got nothing in terms of power. Where is he getting it from? How did he upgrade that? But that's afforded him a lot of breathing room, and that's actually makes a huge deal of sense going UEF on this map. But Battlefield, or even Aeon for that matter, Battlefield now advancing up with his commander. In fact, I need to see something. Does the Seraphim get it as well? Can't remember. A huge bunch of people. Yes, it does, and he's already got it, in fact. That's why he's up to 6.9k, so both these guys making use of their upgrades very intelligently. Battlefield's just going to be here all day. He's like, I'm not going. I don't care. I'm going to die. I know I'm going to die, but I'm going to take down as many of HolyMoly's units as he can. Certainly feels aggrieved, although I do believe you attacked him first initially. No, he didn't actually. What am I talking about? The first initial units that came south were from HolyMoly. First initial frigate and Zuis. So you have the right to aggrievement, but 2 battle cruisers operational for Treskalle, sitting there zapping stuff at range. HolyMoly has submerged his destroyers, which is the right idea, definitely not to take that fire, but the trouble is there's a couple of, or a Cooper here as well, and a Valiant will be able to hit those destroyers underwater, and they're focusing in on those battle cruisers. Probably a mistake, it should take out the Cooper and the Valiant first, but I don't think it's going to matter. HolyMoly is down and out probably. His base is in tatters, down to 2,000 HP. While I was yapping away, he was trying to get a chicken online. Might have been optimistic perhaps, but what, if anything, can contend on this size map with this level of force? 2 battle cruisers will just annihilate everything. And away they go. These huge beams sweeping across HolyMoly's base. Down over here, back up to around 4,000 HP. Still not looking terribly attractive. His face is still a mess. Battlefield now approaching, going north with his comm. HolyMoly saying to Battlefield that was a dumb move to do. I think you started it, to be fair, dude. It's a little bit of pot calling kettle there. And no focus going in on Battlefield at all. He's got a couple of Coopers here, Treskalle, that are now focusing in on that comm. But that is going to be game. He actually did a pretty good job of getting back online down here. He's got a land factory. He's got a couple of, or a bunch of P-gens. Although now the artillery is retrained on him. And his commander, cornered by Coopers, just got boned. And now on the right, HolyMoly trying to produce a chicken, actually getting quite far with it considering. But he's not going to get that finished. Battle cruisers coming in, somehow can hit that. Seems like it should be a bug to me. He's building it underwater. There's no way those beams would be able to hit that. And slowly painted into a corner. 3 destroyers left, 2 destroyers left for HolyMoly. And a whole bunch of T2 stuff that can fire torpedoes at them, mulling around the middle. But I don't think they're going to bother. In fact, I think they're just going to go hunt down HolyMoly's commander that looks like it's got a move order to a chill session at the corner of the map. I think he's going to be disappointed. There'll be no relaxation here, my friend. As the vultures close in, his ACU goes pop. Down to 1,000 HP, and BAM! Nicely played, Treskalle, although I do think your opponents handed it to you. Had their own thing on, but hey, that's the free-for-all, man. That's what happens, and that's why I love them. It's not just about the best player. 38 minutes, though, on Sludge. Not bad at all. Hope you enjoyed that, guys. Unconventional. Perhaps less action than you might have liked for parts of it, but it's always fun. It's nice to showcase these little things anyway. You know, the variations in the game, of which there are many. But until next time, guys, stay well and stay safe. This is Gyle signing out.